Hello, hello, hello. Hey, everyone. How's everyone doing tonight? Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live, guys. Come on in the virtual room. If you guys can see and hear me, drop a one in the chat. I'm just going to fix this lighting real quick. Drop a one in the chat. You guys can see and hear me, okay? I'm going to get this lighting together, y'all. Drop a one in the chat if you guys can see and hear me, though. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, I see one in the chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Also, guys, I see as you guys are coming in, so I see a lot of people coming in the room. Also, let me know where you are planning on opening your beauty supply store. Drop your city in the chat of where you are planning on opening your beauty supply store. This is what tonight is all about. And I'm really excited to have you guys on to share and walk you through how you can actually make this a reality for yourself. So let's rep our cities in the chat. I'm logging in from Queens, New York, which is where I actually was born and raised. So I'm born and raised Queens, New York, and I actually opened my stores here in Queens, New York as well. So I'll be sharing that with you guys a little bit later. Okay, so I see St. Charles is in the building. Anybody else want to rep their city in the chat? Where you guys looking to open your stores? I'm just always really, really excited to see people logging in from all over America, which I think it makes it such a very powerful movement when you see that there is a group of African Americans wanting to open um, all over. So we have Westfield, Indiana in the building as well. Awesome, awesome. So let's keep the chats going, guys, as I pull up my screen to share with you the training for tonight on how you can actually get this store open and launched. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. And as I'm doing that, let me know where in the world you are logging in from. As I pull up these slides, let's just make sure we have everything together. Oh, Houston is here. Rochester is here. Hello, hello, hello. Okay. Okay, let's see. We should be able to do this now. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, so I'm excited tonight, guys, because we are going to be talking about how to launch a profitable beauty supply store in 2026. So, if you guys have been thinking about doing this business for a while and you came across like maybe an ad or one of my Facebook posts or something like that, you definitely want to stick around to the end because it is going to be really amazing. Our next opportunity to actually make this a reality. Okay. So before I get into all of that, I have to cover a legal disclaimer because I have been doing these trainings for a long time. And so I have to cover this legally. So this training, including all of its strategies, frameworks, predictions, methods, and materials, is the exclusive intellectual property of Janice Fredericks and the Retail Genius. It is provided for personal educational use only. Any reproduction, distribution, recording, sharing, or commercial use of this content, including using it to create your own programs, trainings, or offers, is strictly prohibited and will be enforced under U.S. copyright and intellectual property law. So y'all just don't copy the stuff and don't resell it. That's all I'm asking here. Okay, so let's get into it because the Black-owned beauty supply takeover is here. And as I mentioned, guys, we have open stores all across America, Canada, and the Caribbean islands. And we have an amazing goal of opening 100 Black-owned beauty supply stores. And so throughout this training, I love to share a lot of my clients' success stories as case studies so that people could really see that this is really a movement that is happening of Black entrepreneurs in this space. And people are opening stores literally all over America. And so we have started out with some amazing success stories. We have Quality Beauty Supply here in Grayson, Georgia, New York Beauty Supply in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Jazzy Chick Beauty Supply. She's out in Henderson, Nevada. We have our two sisters here, Be Brave Beauty Supply out in LA. We have My Shade and Texture in Tampa, Florida, House of Melanin in Oak Park, Illinois, Bold Cold Beauty, she is in Orlando, and then we have Mega Beauty Supply in Cypress, Texas. So on tonight's agenda, we are going to be going through the real state of the beauty supply industry in 2026. I'm going to be sharing with you guys what is changing and what smart beauty supply owners are doing now that's different from before, right? So I'm going to be sharing some different strategies on how to position your beauty supply store to win in this economy. And then lastly, I'm going to be sharing you next steps opportunity from taking this from you just watching a training to actually executing and getting your store open with me and my team's help. Okay. So like I said, if this has been something that you have been thinking about for a while, right? And you came across this training, I definitely want you to stick to the end to see how you can work together with me and my team to actually make this dream a reality. It is not for everybody, but for those who are really serious about moving forward, I want to extend a special invite to you guys at the end. So there are some reasons why you need to get started with beauty supply today. So you may be on this training because you are tired of your 9 to 5. Okay. Drop a 1 or drop a me in the chat if that was you. That was also me, right? You are tired of this 9 to 5. You're tired of working very, very hard for someone else. And you actually want to switch gears to doing work that is going to impact lives, right? The second reason why you may be on this training tonight is because you understand that your community needs and is literally waiting for a Black-owned beauty supply store to get open. Just like me, my community did not have a Black-owned beauty supply store for miles, right? We didn't even have a beauty supply store for miles. So not only was I the first Black-owned beauty supply store in my community, I was actually really the only beauty supply store. So that may be a reason why you're on this training, is because you know that there's a specific need in your community and you want to fill that void. The third reason why you may be on this training tonight is because you understand that in order to have financial freedom, you're going to need a business. In order to create generational wealth for your children or your children's children, and you know you can't pass down your job, you understand that you need a vehicle. You need an opportunity. You need a business asset. And beauty supply could be that business asset, right? And so if any of these resonate with you, I want you to drop a yes. If any of these resonate, give me a yes, girl, right in the chat, because I was literally all three. I said yes to all three. I was tired of my 9 to 5 job and working super hard, making somebody else's company rich. I understood that my community needed a Black-owned safe space for women to shop and feel comfortable in. And I also knew that in order for me to pass down some type of asset, I needed a business. I needed a business that was going to free me from the corporate world, right? So for me, it was a yes in all three areas. So before I move further, for those of you who are new to me, welcome again. So welcome to my tribe, y'all. My name is Janice. I'm the Retail Genius, and I have helped Black women open beauty supply stores, like I said, all over America, Canada, and the Caribbean islands. And we've also helped Black women secure $1.5 million in funding using OPM, which I'm going to tell you guys more about later in this training. But today, our clients have generated over $15 million in revenue with their beauty supply stores. And so I have been recognized as a pioneer in this industry, dating back to the times where I had my store back in 2010. I, however, did not start in entrepreneurship. I was a corporate girly working a typical 9 to 5, like many of you. And I found myself wanting more, right? Wanting to do something on my own and create my own money and do things on my own time, right? I'm also a single mom of 5 small children. And so I am like many of you wanting to build legacy, generational wealth. And I did that through Beauty Supply. And so, like I said, I've been featured in so many different publications. The receipts are there. You can definitely Google the name. But what really speaks to my programs and the things that we have done in the community is actually help other Black women open their own beauty supply stores. And so the Business Insider writes here, the Retail Genius Bootcamp program is helping fill the pockets of Black women. Okay. Yahoo Finance wrote about the program and says the program has helped Black women generate $3 million in beauty supply. And Kevo Daily wrote, Janice Frederick says, reclaiming the beauty supply industry for Black women everywhere. And so this is our company's mission, is to literally expand the reach of beauty supply stores for Black female entrepreneurs everywhere. Okay. And so we have predominantly done this great work here in the United States, but our reach, right, has gone international, where we've opened stores in Canada, in the islands. And so we are literally, like I said, have an amazing mission to open 100 Black owned beauty spa stores for people who are willing to do it. Okay. And so this is actually the grand opening of my beauty supply. This is a picture of us at the ribbon cutting back in 2010, right? So basically 16 years ago. And this is where I opened my store, like I said, in my hometown, Queens, New York. And literally, this was the day that my entire life changed. It was September of 2010, and my entire family showed up to this ribbon cutting ceremony, right? And what I can remember is that not only did my entire family show up for this ribbon cutting ceremony, but the community and everyone, politicians, influencers, came out for this grand opening because they just want to see this young Black girl open a beauty supply store. And that was a very inspirational moment because I not only got the support and love from my family, of course, but the community. And so when I tell you guys, the community is waiting for your Black owned beauty supply store to get open, I truly mean that. Like, Black women we are tired of shopping in spaces and places where we do not feel safe. And so when you open your beauty supply store, you are going to see just the outpour of support and love from the Black community, because they're literally waiting for your store to get open. And the beauty supply industry is unlike any other industry where Black women have excelled in. Like, we've excelled with having our hair salons. We've excelled with having our spas and nail salons. But beauty supply is not an area that we have excelled in. And so literally, this is our time and moment to show the community that this is possible, that this is absolutely possible. So I want to know in the chat, who's the one person that you would want at your grand opening of your very own beauty supply store? Like, if we were here a year from now and you were able to get this done, who is the one person that you would want to be standing beside you when you get your beauty supply store open? I want you to write their names in the chat, whether it's your mom, your dad, children, sister, cousin. Drop the one person in the chat who you feel strongly like, yeah, I would want that person standing next to me at my ribbon cutting, right? Because we have to have someone outside of ourselves that we are doing this for. We have to have someone in mind, right, where it's bigger than us just doing it to just achieve our dreams. But someone else is depending on this change, right? Someone else is depending on us to get this done and make this happen, right? And so go ahead and drop them in the chat. Oh, I see somebody already talking about their 3 kids, William, Tyshawn, and Amira. That is so beautiful. Yes, drop the people in the chat that you are doing this for, right? Drop the people in the chat that you are doing this for, because it is a road that could be challenging. And so on those challenging days, right, where you have hit an obstacle or a roadblock, because you will, opening any business, you will hit a obstacle, you will hit a roadblock. There is going to be challenges. This is not a, quick get rich quick scheme or anything like that, right? This is work that's going to impact the community, right? While we make that coin. And so when days are tough and challenges come, right? We want to make sure that in the front of our minds and in our vision, we can see ourselves at our grand opening, and we can see that one person standing next to us who's just really, really proud that we made this happen. I saw my parents standing next to me. I saw my aunt standing next to me. I saw my grandma standing next to me, right? They were there. And so you want to think about the one person who you want to actually be there with you when you are at your ribbon cutting. Because here's the thing, we are already at April, right? We are almost halfway through the month. And so you want to decide at this moment how you want to spend the rest of your 2026. How you want to spend the rest of your 2026. Because imagine this, that by the end of this year, you could be celebrating the grand opening of your very own beauty supply store, right? So let me know in the chat. Give me a yes in the chat. Can you actually see yourself stepping into beauty supply ownership in 2026? Can you see that for yourself? Can you close your eyes and really envision your store colors, your logo, your picture up on there? Can you see that? Right? Give me a yes in the chat if you can see that for yourself. And what would it mean to be the first Black-owned beauty supply store in your community? What would that mean for you? What would that mean for your kids? What would that mean for the community if you were actually able to open your very own Black-owned beauty supply store? Because the opportunity is here, right? If you're on this training tonight, that means the opportunity is here. So the only question is if you are ready to claim your opportunity. If you're ready to claim your opportunity, give me a yes in the chat. Because here's some things that really hold us back, especially in the Black community. A lot of times it is a lot of disempowering talk and mindset that holds us back. That we're saying to ourselves, I don't have enough money. The industry is saturated. I don't know how to get accounts open. I'm not sure if I have enough time to do this. And I don't know where I'm gonna get the funding. And so let me share with you guys that when you are starting in this business, you have to get rid of disempowering language, even if it's your mom, even if it's your dad, even if it's your spouse, right? Disempowering language cannot be around you. And so at some point, if you have people who are negative, who don't understand, who will tell you that it is a saturated industry, you're going to have all of that happen, and it is going to impact your progress of moving forward. And so my mom, I will tell you, my mom loves me, but she never wanted me to open a beauty supply store or get into business for myself. She wanted me to stay with my good corporate job. I went to business school. I had all the degrees. I had all the accolades. I was working for top investment firms. Okay. This was not something that she was encouraging, right? And so you will find that the closest people to you may not understand it because God did not give them the vision. God gave you a vision, right? If you're on this training tonight, God gave you the vision. God gave you the training to show up to. And so when people want to talk you out of your dream, it is not because they're trying to hate on you. It's a lot of times it's just they're really trying to protect you, but it's only because that God didn't give them the vision, right? And so that is something that we have to understand, that in business, it could be very lonely because the vision is just with us. And so you want to make sure that you have the right mindset when you are getting into this business, because if you are using disempowering language of, I don't know if I could do this, I don't have money, I don't have time, instead of empowering yourself and using empowering language, well, I'm going to get on this training and I'm going to find out what this girl talking about. I'm going to figure out how to get the investment. I'm going to figure it out, because we have a very much a figure it out attitude when it comes to those Beyonce tickets. A lot of y'all was at Beyonce concert. When it comes to the new iPhone, when it comes to the vacation to Mexico, Bahamas, and what, we figure it out. And so you want to be just as resourceful when it comes to investing in your own business, because us, especially in the Black community, we were not taught to be investors. We were taught and brought up to be consumers. And so many of us have been on the other side of the register at the beauty supply store. I'm trying to bring us to behind the register, to the person that is collecting the money at the beauty supply store. No longer will we be consumers, but we will be owners. Okay. And so a lot of you still may have these questions of how are the Asians killing it? How did we get started? Are there gatekeepers? This is exactly what I am going to break down to you guys in this training on how you actually make it work and get started. Okay. This is why we are here. Okay. But let's recognize that this is also a huge wake-up call for a lot of us, because there was a recent report where 300,000 Black women have lost their jobs, right? 300,000 Black women have lost their job due to DEI shutdown, government shutdowns. Like every other day, there's a government shutdown in the news. And so we understand that our jobs are no longer safe. Our jobs are no longer safe. And so this is our moment, and this is our call to ownership, legacy, and control. Okay, because we recognize now that beauty supply is a $1 billion industry. Okay, and Black women, we should own more than just the products, right? We should want to own our shelves as well as the products. And another statistic is that as Black women, right, as mothers, right, 80% of us, 80% of Black mothers are the primary sole breadwinners in our household. And so for 80% of Black women who are mothers, we're doing all of this on our own. And so that means we must get this done for our children and for our children's children, right? Because we understand that we hold their future in our hands. And so they are looking at us to make things happen. I am also a single mom. These are actually my kids here in the picture. My youngest baby is 3 and my oldest girl is 9. Okay, so I have 5 small little kids who are looking for me to make sure that I am able to pass something down to them. Okay, and this is exactly the vehicle that I chose to do it with. All right. And so I want to introduce to you our first case study, which is Benisa out in North Dakota, Fargo. Okay. Now, Benisa was someone who was a hairstylist when she came to us. She was a hairstylist doing hair full time from West Africa, right? Also a single mom of 4. And when she came to us, she wanted to get from behind the chair, open her beauty supply store. She got connected with us. We helped her open a store. And this text message here, she states that her cash flow is not an issue. Her salon is very busy and she does an average of $400 to $500 a day. Now, this is in her first year of business, right? A lot of us, to generate $500 a day, we have to be manually doing the work. And so some of you may be on here and you are a hairstylist and you understand that at some point you got to give them hands a rest. Okay, you got to give them hands a rest and you have to retire from doing the physical labor of the work. You may be a hairstylist. You may be a makeup artist, right? Massage therapist, someone who is literally doing the work. You understand you can't do that forever. Okay, and so you want to invest in a business that is going to allow you to have that passive income to where you can show up and do the hair, or you can literally hire someone to do it for you. Okay, that is the beauty of beauty supply. So now let's talk about 2025, what we saw last year, because in order to understand this year, we have to understand the previous year and the numbers, right? And so what we saw in 2025 is that beauty demand stayed strong even with economic uncertainty. Trump came into the picture. He implemented Trump tariffs in 2025, and we literally had no idea how things were going to turn out. But as the year progressed, we saw that foot traffic actually grew 1% to 2%. And one of our beauty giants, which is Ulta, they actually raised their annual forecast, which tells us something. Okay. This shows us through the numbers that the industry was not slowing down. Okay. That our weak stores declined and our strong community centers actually grew. Okay. So that tells us this is a recession-proof business. And y'all, I told you I have been in this industry since 2010, right? So almost 2 decades. I have lived through 3 different recessions. And this is a recession-proof industry that every time we are in some type of market disruption, right, and unemployment is high, we see that beauty and the beauty sector just in general, like all across beauty categories, it actually goes up. And we see this because when people feel bad, especially particularly Black women, when we are down and out, we are not going to look like it. So even if we have to pay for the stuff ourselves, even if we have to invest in understanding how to do our own hair, how to do our own nails and makeup, we are going to do that. But we're not going to look like what we've been through. Okay. And I understood this when I opened my store in 2010 because it was one of the worst times ever. It was the mortgage crisis. And I saw women come in with their unemployment check to buy bundles with their unemployment money. Okay. That is when I knew beauty supplies popping, because people are coming in when times are bad and people are coming in when times are good. And so this is what is called a recession-proof industry, because it stabilizes. And so whereas in bad times, people may not spend their discretionary income on the services, meaning they may not go to the hairstylist to get their hair professionally done, or go to the nail salon, or do the makeup professionally at MAC. They will learn how to do it themselves at YouTube University, but they will still have to go to the beauty supply store to buy their stuff. Okay. Let me know if y'all see what I'm saying. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Give me a yes in the chat if you see exactly how we're able to be a recession-proof industry, right? When times are good and bad, we're still going to have to invest in our products, right? Give me a yes or yes in the chat if you see that. Okay. So now let's talk about 2026. Now let's move it to 2026 now, right? Because this is the year that we own the engine that we built. This is the year that we own the engine that we built, because now we are seeing that Black beauty and textured hair categories are actually going 4 to 6% annually. Okay. And that Black consumers continue to drive billions with a B in annual beauty spend. Okay. That is an annual number. And so everybody is betting on Black. And so now we understand that demand is not the issue, that the demand is here. The demand stays steady year over year over year. The issue is ownership. That money and those billions are going into the hands of Asian and Arab families. It is not going into the hands of Black families. Okay. And so 2026 must be the year that we stop watching, we stop being consumers, and we start owning, because we understand that Black women fuel the beauty economy, and yet we only own a fraction of it. But this was not always our story, because we had our pioneers, Annie Malone and Madam C.J. Walker. Some of y'all know these names. These were self-made millionaires, Black females in the 1920s. The first self-made millionaire, female. And they got their millions in beauty. Okay. They had manufactured products. They had distribution. They had schools. They did all of this in beauty. And so, y'all, we are not new to this. We are true to this, because we've already had our ancestors come before us and literally give us the blueprint on how we make our millions. And we make our millions. Black women make their millions in beauty. We started this industry back in the 1920s. We had the first millionaires, female millionaires of our time, Black women. And so we understand that this was not an industry that we're just now coming up upon. This is an industry that we built, that we created. And so now in 2026, it is now time for Black women to reclaim this industry, because there is no reason why almost a century later, we don't have 100 million Black millionaires, female millionaires in the area of beauty. There is no reason why we don't own 90% of the beauty supply stores and beauty supply chains, because Madam C.J. Walker and Annie Malone actually started also during an economic crisis, which was at the time the Spanish flu. And so I want you to also see the correlation of how millionaires become millionaires during economic downturns. It's during the tough times where people decide that I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open this business anyway, because everybody else is scared. And when everybody else is scared, because we understand that scared money don't make any money, right? Drop a yes in the chat if you understand that scared money don't make any money. And so when pioneers like Madam C.J. Walker and Annie Malone decide to put everything they have into their business during the Spanish flu of 1920, which was a terrible, terrible pandemic, worse than COVID, okay, they made their millions, right? We saw our beauty supply stores come and COVID actually flourish in their businesses. People opened 2 and 3 locations during COVID because all the other stores shut down. They made their millions. This is exactly how I got started during the mortgage crisis of 2008, right? Y'all remember the mortgage crisis, right? This was a Wall Street crisis. All of the banks were going under. There was no gas. People was driving around trying to figure out how to get gas. And I tell my parents, I want to open a business. I want to open a beauty supply store at a time where people wasn't able to even find gas. Do y'all remember that? Do y'all remember when we was trying to find gas in 2008? That's when I decided to open my store. My parents thought I was crazy, right? I told you, my mom was like, you can go out and you can just get a good job. Because I was actually fired, y'all. I didn't tell y'all that part. I was fired from the U.S. Treasury Department as a bank examiner. So I had all the accolades. Like, I worked for Goldman Sachs. I worked for Smith Barney. I worked for some top investment firms. I could have found another job. Really and truly, I could have. Or I could have got another degree. Black woman, we are known for getting a lot of degrees. We got more degrees than a thermometer. I could have done that too. I decided to take a bet on myself. Why am I going to put more money into a financial institution to get this degree? And I don't even know that I'm going to be able to get a job because my first degree got me a job that I was fired from. And so why am I getting more degrees? Why don't I just take that money and just start my own business? And that's exactly what I did during a mortgage crisis. And again, my mom was like, listen, I think you should just get another job. I think you should play it safe. I think you should use that degree. I think you should get another job and do this during a time where things are better, when unemployment is not so high. Because at the time, unemployment was like double digits, way higher than what it is now. But guess what, y'all? I want someone to type in the chat, I did it anyway. Type in the chat, she did it anyway. I did it anyway. I went and I opened the beauty supply store anyway. Even when unemployment was high, even without the biggest budget, liquidating my 401k, right? I did it anyway. And fast forward, y'all, to 2026, right? 16 years later, I'm now able to show other Black women how to open beauty supply stores. We have the #1 agency in the country to help Black women open beauty supply stores. There is no one else that is doing this work for Black women and Black men. There's no other company there that's specifically helping Black people open beauty supply stores. We did it. And that would not have happened if I didn't take a bet on myself back in 2010. If I didn't bump my head with my own beauty supply store back in 2010 and make all the mistakes so that I could show other people how to do it and get to the millions faster. Okay. And so, yes, I did it anyway so that I can now show other people how to do it. But this is the market by the numbers, right? Big spending, but small ownership. $100 billion is generated in beauty supply every single year, right? And less than 10% of our stores are owned by Black entrepreneurs in a market that we built. And so understanding that we are the culture And we also are the cash flow. But like I said before, the cash flow is flowing into somebody else's hands. It's not flowing into our hands. And so now it is time for us to be owners. And so let's talk about how we do that. How do we become owners? Okay, what are the strategies? So I'm going to share with you guys some strategies now on how to shift from being a consumer to the owner. What are we doing differently? What is working right now? So the first thing, guys, that I want you to understand is that a beauty supply store is not about having a copy and paste of all the other stores in your community. Because a lot of times I will see people open stores and literally just copy what the other competitors are doing. In 2026, customers are now wanting to shop with stores that understand the products that they are carrying. They want to shop with stores that have a results-driven product mix. Okay. So the secret strategy is to build a results-driven product mix that are going to have people saying, oh, that store has everything. Oh, that store has all the good products, right? That store has all the exclusive brands. That's exactly what I did with my beauty supply store when I first opened. I wanted to be the store. Even though my store was only 800 square feet of space, we had multiple 5-figure months because I focused on having the products that I knew worked, because me and my sisters were using the products ourselves, right? So we understood what worked and we kept our ears to the street, right? We was on YouTube, right? And now in today's age, you have so much information at your fingertips, right? It's literally impossible for you to get this wrong. Well, it's possible, but with the right mentorship, you're going to get it, perfect. But we made 15K, 20K months in a store that was 800 square feet of space, which is really, really small because it was here in New York City. But the key was, at that time, we focused on products for women who were doing the big chop. Okay, so like I said, this was almost 2 decades ago. This was the time when women were doing that big chop. They were chopping their hair off, and then they had no clue on what to do with their hair after they had the big chop. They had no idea what products to use. And this is where we had like Miss Jessie's, and we had Jane Carter, and we had Mixtures. We had all these amazing emerging brands built and created and manufactured by Black women. And this was at the time of the natural hair care movement. This was at the cusp of that movement. That's when I opened my store. And I had all of those brands in my store because they were not overexposed in Target just yet, and Sally's and all those other stores. Those stores wasn't even checking for the Black-owned brands. But because we were so intentional about making sure that we had a product mix, and again, a product mix, y'all, is all of the categories that you're going to carry in your beauty supply store that is going to make you money, that is going to give you that revenue, okay? And so if you are a store that tries to be everything to everyone, right? And you don't have a niche and you don't have a specialty, okay? You will literally run out of money very fast, and people are going to come in and they're going to walk out, right? Especially if you have a small store. Now, our Asian counterparts, they have mega beauty supply stores. Their stores are 20,000, 30,000 square feet of space, and they have millions in inventory. We don't have all of that. And so you have to make sure that your store's product mix is one that is going to have a high, what we call a high inventory turnover rate, which means you are constantly selling stuff and you're selling it at a fast pace because you understand that your space is small. You cannot carry all this inventory. And so you have to have a really good product mix. Okay. Now, the second thing I want to share with you guys is understanding that as a retailer, we typically have third-party brands in our stores. That is just how retail works. However, now in 2026, retailers are now replacing a lot of those third-party brands with their own brands. We call this private labeling. Okay, so this is not just a trend, right? It's not a trend anymore. This is actually going to be the new standard of a lot of beauty supply businesses going forward, is having your own signature product line. Okay. That's strategy number 2. That's secret number 2 is that you want to launch your signature brand. Okay. Now, this is exactly what we did with My Shade and Texture. This is Pam's store, one of our good clients who opened almost 5 years ago, right? She created a glow bar in her store. Now, her glow bar is basically her own brand of natural oils and scrubs where her clients can come in. It's like a beautiful displayed bar of all of these natural oils and scrubs. And customers are able to come in and mix and match and create their own concoction, right? Off of her signature products. And they're able to walk out with their own like signature oil or signature body scrub, right? Or signature lotion. It's an amazing, amazing experience. And what they're doing is they're using her product brand, right? And so this is what you want to start to think about. Like, what can I private label where you can go to any of these wholesale websites, AliExpress, Alibaba, and private label a particular product. And so we did in my store, we did bundles, which was very, very popular. Okay. We did hair bundles, we did makeup brushes. The 2 sisters that have the store in LA that I shared with you guys, their store is called Be Brave Beauty Supply. They did like high-end bonnets. Okay. So you want to just start to think about what product or brand can I come up with and can I private label and actually have that in my store? Okay. The third thing I want you guys to think about is the fact that if you are not hybrid in 2026, meaning you are giving your customers the ability to shop online and pick up in store, you have different delivery options, you're doing emails and SMS updates. Like, we are living in a time of rapid AI and technology. And so if your beauty supply store is not up to par with the technology as well as AI, like if you don't have AI running in the business, you are going to be leaving a lot of money on the table. Okay. So the strategy here is that you want to be able to build a dual channel retail machine where you are literally waking up to sales. Okay. This is exactly what we did with Christina's business. She has Curly Girl Love out in Los Angeles. And Christina was actually a school teacher. She was a school teacher who became a stay-at-home mom and came to us at that point where she was like, I do not want to return to the classroom. I want to open a beauty supply store because there are no beauty supply stores in my community. Right? People had to like drive miles and miles and miles to the nearest beauty supply store. And so we got her into the program. We helped her open her store. And here in this screenshot text message where you can see we were at the halfway mark of the year, 2023. So it was August 6, 2023. And I say, hey, girls, how's sales? And she says her store did $96,978 in basically 6 months. Okay. And I'm like, oh my God, that is insane. Like, what is working? And here you can see her reply where she says 12,000 was generated via DoorDash. Okay. And so I just want you guys to start to see DoorDash is a delivery service. Okay. DoorDash is a delivery service as well as online sales. And so you have to start to see that your beauty supply business is going to be like a parent company, right? It's a parent company with all these additional revenue streams beneath it. Okay. And with these additional revenue streams, you're making literally $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month in your store. And a lot of the strategies that we teach our clients now, I wish those strategies did not exist when I had my beauty supply store. I wish they did. Okay. But making $12,000 off of DoorDash is, again, a passive way to make money. Going back to our sister Benisa with her store in Fargo, North Dakota, she has a salon. Okay. And I believe that one-stop shopping where you have your service-based, or you have salon suites or something like that in your beauty supply store, is going to be the wave of the future, because women want convenience. We are trying to figure out how we can condense everything into one area. All right. I also had 2 stations in my beauty supply store, but a lot of our clients now are doing salon suites because that is just where the industry is headed. Everyone wants to do suites. And so we are building out salon suites within our beauty supply store. But it is a business model that works really, really well, because I will tell you guys, I had 2 hairstylists, right? And we had a bundle deal. So again, going back to that signature product and that signature private label brand, we had our bundles, raw, beautiful bundles. And we had a bundle deal to where you can get your bundles installed with a closure, everything done for $500. Okay. $500 was the one price that you would pay, and you get everything done in one place. It was super convenient. And for most people, it was a very, very affordable way to do everything in one place. Now, with that bundle deal, where we had just 2 stylists, again, my space was really, really small, just two stylists, we was making $15,000 at the peak of that bundle deal, y'all, off of 2 stylists, because they were doing installs all day, every day. Okay. Off of 200, two stylists, and the space was 100 square feet of space, which is very small. We had 1 dryer, we had 1 wash bowl, and we had 2 stations, and they made it work. Okay. And so this is how you make multiple 6 figures in beauty supply. This is how you make $250,000, is through your additional revenue streams, right? And making money outside of the 4 walls. Okay. And so being creative and thinking outside the box, like I just gave y'all a couple of ways of how we have additional revenue. There's so many other ways that we make money in this industry outside of our 4 walls. Okay. But now let's get into funding. Like, how do we get funding for our store? Okay. Because I see it all the time that people are getting rejected, and they're going to think that there is no money, that there's no funding, when there is funding. Like I said, we got 1.5 million for our clients in funding, right? Using OPM, which is other people's money. Okay. So there is funding. You just need to make sure that you are properly positioned for lenders to actually say yes to your application. The first thing you're going to need for a lender to say yes to your application is you are going to need a winning business plan. You're going to need a winning business plan for your beauty supply business, because no one is going to give you money without seeing the numbers on paper of how this business is going to work. Okay. And so here is probably one of the most important slides that you'll need in order to get funding, which is how to build out that business plan. It's very simple. This is my 5 P's formula, 5 P's. Okay. First P is the place. This is all you're going to need in your business plan. The first P is the place. This is the location. Where are you going to have this store? You need to share in your business plan the location, traffic, demographics, right? That lenders understand. The second P is going to be the purpose. What is the purpose of this money? We call this a use of funds in your financial statement. This is going to show a lender how you are going to use the money that they lend you, down to the dollar. They want to see how much inventory is going to be. They want to see how much the POS system is going to be. They want to see how much the build out's going to be. Okay. That's the purpose. The third P is your product mix, right? I talked about the product mix quite a few times. So I hope y'all picking up what I'm putting down. Okay. Your product mix is the backbone of your beauty supply business. This is your inventory. This is how you're going to make money. So you need to show a lender high margin, fast moving beauty essentials in your product mix. You're going to have to be able to articulate that to where they understand. The fourth P is your promotion. This is going to be all of your marketing. You need to show this lender how you plan on getting customers to come in your door and how you plan to get them to come back, right? That's called loyalty. So I always tell people, You want to be able to show these lenders how you plan on stealing some people. How you plan on stealing some people? Because everybody's shopping somewhere for their stuff. It's not like you're going to find someone who just not shopping. Everyone's shopping somewhere. So you have to figure out, how am I going to get these people from shopping from Amazon.com or the other Korean stores or the other Arab stores to shop at my store? And how am I going to get them to come back? That is the essence of your marketing. Okay. And then you have your projections, right? This is going to be the last P, which is going to be all your numbers, all the numbers. They want to see the revenue, how much money you're going to make in the first 3 years. They want to see the expenses. How much are you going to be spending every single month to operate this business? They want to see break even points, which is at what point is this business going to turn a profit, right? How fast is this business going to turn a profit? That's going to indicate how fast I can get my full investment back, right? And so we have worked, again, with our clients for the past 7 years on getting them approved. And so we understand what lenders reject versus what gets approved, okay? So some of these things are like saying in the business plan very vaguely, I just love hair and beauty. Not going to get approved. Your business plan needs to say something to the tune of, this store serves a high demand Black and brown consumer base with proven repeat purchases. That is what a lender wants to see. Okay. They're going to reject vague location ideas. You need to be able to present in your business plan specific plaza counts, traffic counts, demographics, and any nearby anchors, right? These are some examples of what you want to be able to clearly show. And
I'm going to bring Keisha up because she has something exciting to share.
Okay, listen to this, y'all.
Ma'am. So last week I reported that I went underwriting, and today I actually got approved for my full amount for my loan.
Yay!
Thank you, Janice, actually, for saying, no, call him tomorrow. I got the official email announcement today that I got the full amount that I requested. And yes, so I'm excited. I'm nervous and everything all in between. I mean, it took me a year to get here. I'm here now. The money is available.
Well, that's so exciting. Let everyone know what the full amount is.
I got 150K.
Yes. See, it's possible, y'all. It's possible.
And in the words of Janice, everything's going to be moving fast right now.
Yes, y'all. So like I said, guys, it is possible. Like I said, we have literally seen our clients get upwards 150,000, 200,000. One of our clients in Canada, they actually got 320,000 for their beauty supply store. So guys, it is literally possible for you to literally get full funding for your beauty supply store once you are positioned for a lender to say yes to your application. Keisha has a store called The Beauty Know-How in Houston, Texas. Okay. And it has been in business for over a year now. All right. So let's do a quick recap and check in, y'all, because I know it is a lot of information. Let me know in the chat, guys, was this helpful for you? Like, was this helpful? Do you see how you can make multiple six figures opening a beauty supply store? Do you see how all of this is possible for you? If so, give me a yes in the chat. Give me a yes in the chat. Also, let me know if after seeing this information, right, and viewing the numbers and viewing the breakdown of how you can create multiple revenue streams in your business, do you guys see how all of this is possible? And do you feel a little bit more ready, like ready to start your store? If so, give me a yes in the chat, right? And like I said, this opportunity is not for everybody. Like, we see lots of business opportunities every single day. Someone is out talking about something. But I want to know if you are someone who feels like this has been a dream of mine for years and you actually want to take the next step and you want to join the movement of Black entrepreneurs taking over the beauty supply industry at one store at a time. I want you to type in, I'm ready. I'm ready. I want you to type in I'm ready. If that is you and you know that this is your calling, I want you to type in I am ready in the chat. Okay. Because if you are ready, I'm ready too. Okay. So we're going to do this together. Your next step is to partner with us inside the Beauty Supply Intensive Program. And this is our path to building a successful beauty supply store, right? So we are not just helping people build stores. We are actually helping them build a recession-proof business asset. Okay, so I want you guys to elevate your thinking and not just saying, oh, I just own a beauty supply store, right? I want us to use empowering, strong language, and you are starting and owning an asset that is a recession-proof industry, right? And so we are not just going to be teaching you guys, we are going to be positioning you, right? Positioning you for funding, for vendors, and for long-term profit and generational wealth in this industry, okay? This is what the Asians have been doing for decades. This is what the Arabs have been doing, right? It is now time for us as African Americans to also do the same. And so we break this down with our 3 C's for success because we want everyone to be successful. Okay, that's our community. That is us, our courses, and that's our clarity where we're mapping it out, right? Creating that roadmap. So the first C is the community. This is our in-person experience live where we take it from being on the screen to being in person. And in-person experiences are the most important experiences that you can have. And so we have our workshops every quarter. Our next one is June 20th to the 21st. This is in Atlanta, Georgia, right? This is where we have our main part of our intensive where we are all getting together. So everyone in the cohort, right, is going to fly down to Atlanta, Georgia, including myself. I am flying to Atlanta, Georgia to help you guys work on your store. And not only are we going to be working on the store, we are going to be getting the live coaching, live feedback, and accountability, right? And look at us in this room. You see all these beautiful Black women, they all say yes to open a beauty supply store. This is the sisterhood that happens when you come to our intensive. Because not only are you going to leave with all of the assets to your beauty supply store created, but you leave with priceless relationships. Some of the women become business partners. Okay, your business partner could be in the room. And so I tell people all the time, you always want to make sure that you can come out of your environment and get into the room because these rooms unlock your next level. And so a lot of us have to get out our community, right? To get into spaces where we are with like-minded people. I told you, my mother did not want me to open a business. She did not want me to open this business. I had to get out of my comfort zone, get out of my environment and go find other like-minded individuals so that I can push myself forward. This is exactly what we do with our in-person intensive in Atlanta. Anything else you want to mention about your journey and inspire other people who might be thinking about taking the leap into opening a beauty supply store and they're just like, I don't even know what to do, how to start, I'm scared, like working, mom, like all the things.
Oh my goodness, all the things. Listen, you're gonna have all the things. That's not gonna go away in this world, right? Yep. But that's how we overcome by sharing our testimonies with one another. And then I would also say, do not let your dreams die. Don't let it just be an idea. There are so many people that are dead in their grave and they had a dream and they went down to the grave with it and nobody knows. Don't be that person. You can do this. You have help, longevity. Get with someone that has some mature experience. I mean, and if there's some conflict, work through it with peace, with a solution, not just adding on to it. Work with it through a solution. But regardless, don't let your dreams go to the grave. Live them out.
Yes, and that was our one of our intensives from last year. But like I said, y'all, we do these intensives every single quarter. So if you are interested in taking the next step, like I said, getting your store open, I want you to book a call with us. I'm going to have my client concierge, Daniela, drop the link in the chat for you guys to book your call because we have opened our calendars this week to getting you guys onboarded and getting you guys started with your beauty supply store. Okay. So we're going to drop the link in the chat. Just let me know once you guys click that link. that you can actually book a time, because our calendars get booked really, really, really fast. So definitely, guys, book as soon as the link drops in the chat. Like Daniela's on here, so she's gonna drop the link in the chat. But guys, book as soon as the link drops in the chat, so that you can get on our calendar and literally get your store open. Okay, let me know if that link is working for you guys, because I want to make sure that everyone on this call can be able to get on the calendar. So let me know if you guys are able to open that link and book a call with us. Okay, so let's move on. The second part that you guys are getting is also our courses. So this is our online curriculum that you get instant access to once you enroll. So once you enroll, guys, you get instant access into the courses. And so instantly you're going to be able to watch all of the trainings and do all of the homework. So in our university, which I call the Harvard of Beauty Supply. Okay, this is the Harvard of Beauty Supply. And also, y'all, if you have been watching this training and you have enjoyed the information and it was valuable, this was free. So if this is the free stuff, you can just imagine what the paid stuff is going to look like. We have hundreds of trainings online, literally the step by step I'm teaching you on our online portal, where you are going to be watching all the trainings. Now, every single training that we have also comes with real live templates, guides, checklists. It has our pricing formulas. It has all of our contracts. So you're not creating anything from scratch. We have employee contracts. We have our store SOPs, which is our standard operating procedures, how to operate the business, how to do your opening procedures, how to do your closing procedures, how to market. We have our business plan and financial projections templates. So like I said, y'all going to need to have these business plans done. We have a template already that's plug and play in our university. So all you have to do is download our template, plug and play the information, and give it to your lender. Okay. You are not creating anything from scratch. And so this is like, it's Netflix. It's like on demand. You can watch these trainings anytime, 3 a.m., 3 p.m. These trainings are available for you online. This is a little bit of an overview of what the curriculum looks like. We're covering everything from branding to building out your private label brand, doing, like I said, your business plan and financial projections. That's a big part of what we teach in our university. And we're covering all of that, how to build out your vendors, right? How to understand vendors, inventory, how to order, how much should you order, how much should you price. I literally cover that in our university. Okay. This is another amazing success story. This is Terrell. She opened her store in the DFW area. And she says Janice was such a phenomenal help in getting this girl boss started. Her course had a lot of information that you cannot just get anywhere. Okay. So she was an example of how she took our business plan, financial projections, plugged in her information, gave it to her lender on a Monday, and within a week's time, she had $75K secured in funding for her beauty supply store using our templates in our online portal in our Beauty Supply University. Okay. And so listen, it is just that simple, and everything is already built literally on a silver platter for you within our university. And then our last C is our clarity. This is our roadmap session. So you're also going to have a one-on-one onboarding strategy session. This is where I create your custom roadmap of all the milestones that you're going to accomplish with building your beauty supply store. So everybody on this call is at a different place. And this is why it's important that we have a one-on-one session on the onset of the business, because I build out your roadmap. So if you are wanting to open your store by the summertime, we build a plan for you to open the store by the summertime. If you want to open a store next year, we build out them and map out the milestones for you to open by next year. Everybody's going to be different. That is why it's important to have a custom roadmap that is going to be built for you. And this is why I take the time to sit with you guys one-on-one. This is going to be on Zoom. This is virtual. And this is what we do as soon as you enroll. Okay, so this is the breakdown of everything that you are getting within this program. So you're getting the Beauty Supply University that's valued at $5,000. You're getting the one-on-one roadmap and strategy session with me that's valued at $1,000. And then you're getting our in-person live workshop in Atlanta, Georgia, where you're going to be spending 2 days live with me and my team, where we're actually going to be working hand in hand with you in your face in Atlanta. That workshop is valued by itself at $3,000. So total value of everything that you are getting to get this store started is $9,000. Okay. So a question for y'all. If this program that's valued at $9,000 was able to help you open your store, like we go back to the ribbon cutting day, and you named a person that you were once standing next to you, if you was able to make not only yourself proud, but that person that you named in the chat proud, and you was able to make $250,000 your first year and literally change your family's trajectory, do you believe that it will be worth of that $9,000 investment right now? Give me a yes or a yes in the chat. Because it's at this moment where a lot of people choke up. Fear has them in the chokehold. And they say, I don't have time. Or now I got other things going on. I don't know if I can do this. Maybe I should do this next year. When you should have did it last year, right? Because this is not a $9,000 investment. Our regular standard enrollment price for our intensive is $5,000, right? Because we want to make sure that everyone gets the access, and access. I don't want access to be a barrier for anybody. But for you who are on this webinar tonight, we have an exclusive pre-enrollment pricing of 40% off. And so because you are on this webinar tonight, you will be able to get into the door with 3 payments of $1,100. And if you're able to pay in full, you'll save an additional $500. So we're literally giving it to you for just $3,000. Okay. That is all you need to get all of the things that I just mentioned just now that's valued at $9,000. Okay. This is only for the people who book a call with us this week. Okay. So I'm going to drop a link again. This is only going to be for people who book the call with us this week and get enrolled this week. Okay. We also have Klarna and we also have Afterpay. So we have funding available for people who seriously want to get into the program. Okay. And so the funding will be available through Klarna and or Afterpay, right? So we have those options available. And then we also have the payment option. Okay. This is another amazing success story. Allure Beauty Supply out in Jacksonville, Florida. This is Jamesia. This is us at her grand opening, y'all. This was us. I think this was maybe 2-3 years ago. Okay. But she also got $75,000 in funding for her beauty supply store. Her and her husband, lovely couple, Black love. I love it. I love it. I love it. But her and her husband came to us and they were like, listen, we have to drive 30 minutes to our nearest beauty supply store. We need to open one now. And so they got started with us. They work with us. And then they says this, Allure was our dream come true. And we could not have done it without Janice and her team. And so this is exactly why the program exists. This intensive program exists because we want to be able to remove the confusion, to remove the guessing, the delays, the bad vendor decisions. I spent $20,000 on the wrong vendors when I first got started, y'all. I spent $20,000 on the wrong vendors and the wrong inventory. Those are costly mistakes that you just do not want to make because you just didn't know what you didn't know because you was doing it on your own. Okay. This is why this program exists, because we already made these mistakes for you so that you don't have to make these same costly mistakes and that you can get to the money way faster than I did, because we are giving you a roadmap that has worked for many women nationwide, and not only nationwide, but also in different countries. Okay. So this is New York Beauty Supply. I told you these guys who are the owners at the end. So gentleman number 1, gentleman number 2. So we work with men, in case I got any men on the line. We do work with men. Okay. But these guys was so amazing about their story. They opened their store in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Okay. And they were surrounded by some major beauty supply stores who was trying to strong arm them out the industry before they got started. They were saying, we're not going to let y'all open accounts. We're going to block y'all from getting the major accounts, which is what a lot of these stores try to do. When you are trying to do this by yourself, they will say, we're going to block you from getting accounts. But luckily, they had me and my team, and we were still able to get them accounts open. And baby, when I tell you their grand opening day, they made $10,000 in a weekend. In their grand opening weekend, they had a line outside their door because this was the first Black-owned beauty supply store in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And not only did they open a store, but they actually, the gentleman on the end, Jeremy, one of my good friends now, opened another location by the college and just made a year on that second location. About 1,200 square feet of space. He makes upwards $20,000 in his store per month, $20,000. Okay. And so y'all can't tell me there's no money to be made. Because baby, especially when you're the first Black-owned beauty supply store, it's game over. Like, you are going to kill it. Okay. So I have a fast action bonus for those of y'all who stayed to the very, very end. Okay. When you guys enroll this week, I'm also going to be throwing in something amazing for you guys. I'm also going to be throwing something super amazing for you guys. It is going to be a done for you business plan, meaning our business writer who typically works with our high-end one-on-one clients where they paying $35,000 and higher for us to open the stores for them. That same business writer, I'm going to get her to write your business plan for you. The whole thing. The financial projections, everything. Okay. This is a business plan that is lender ready, right? It is going to be structured to meet bank and private funding standards. The location and market stuff is going to be done. The demographics, there's going to be clear use of funds. Everything that I mentioned in my 5-piece formula, right? Everything that has to be broken down, the monthly revenue, the financial projections, the break-even point, all of that she's going to do for you. This by itself is valued at $3,000. Like, if you wanted to just go to our website and just do the business plan by itself, like, you would be paying $3,000 for it. We are going to actually give this to you guys complimentary because I want you guys to get to the funding fast as possible. And she does this fast. It's a 14-day business turnaround. And so everyone who books their call and enrolls this week, you guys are going to get your business plan done for you as a fast action bonus, because I feel like the action takers are the money makers and they become the best clients. And so I love to reward our action takers and decision makers. And so y'all going to get this business plan done for you. I'm going to make sure she hooks y'all up and that you get your business plan done in 14 business days. So literally when y'all enroll this week, literally by the end of the month, you're going to have your business plan so you can literally start to actually search for funding. Okay, that's how fast we move in this program. That is how fast we move. So like I said, when you guys book your call today, right? Book your call today. I have opened my calendar. Okay, book your call today so that you can take advantage of the fast action bonus. Now, the fast action bonus now brings the total value of everything that you're getting to $12,000. But y'all going to be getting it for a fraction of the price. So the pay in full is $3,000. So you save additional $500. And then we have the monthly payments of $1,100. Okay. So we have payment options and then we have a pay in full option. Also, if you want to do the pay in full option to get the additional discount, you can use Klarna. You can use Afterpay. Now, Klarna and Afterpay is our funding options. So they will fund it for you and you will pay Klarna and you will pay Afterpay back. Okay. They break those payments down over 3 to 6 months, just depending on your credit score. That's how that works. Okay. So y'all, we are wrapping up. So this is the moment, right? This is the moment of decision, right? You can decide that you're going to keep watching my free trainings and watching the free stuff on YouTube and being on the free groups on Facebook, or you can take action towards your next step, right? Which is booking the call and letting us help you get to the finish line of opening your store. Okay. Because this program is for you if you are serious about opening a beauty supply store in 2026. If you are someone who is looking for funding ready strategy, if you value proximity, right, community and structure, and you are done playing small with your future. If you are done with all of that, I invite you to literally take the next step, and I would be honored to mentor you through this whole process. So your first 30 days inside the intensive, right? This is what you can expect. You are going to get immediate access to your call session with me, right? This is where I give you your onboarding call. I'll break down the university, which training should you watch first, just based upon where you're at in your journey. And we map out all of your milestones. We map out the timeline. We map out the startup costs. We map out everything on that call so that you have clear milestones with dates and tracking, and there's no guesswork on what you should be doing and what you should be working on. At the same time, we are going to be working on your business plan because you have booked that call and you enrolled this week. We are going to be getting to work with your business plan so that you can get to the funding, right? And then you are going to start taking the courses to prepare all of the key pieces for our live intensive that is happening in June in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay. So this is your next move for you to secure your call with me, and so that we can get you going into beauty supply success. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing here. Let me know, guys, if you have any questions in the chat. I don't know where Daniela went, but I'm going to drop the link again. Let me know if you guys have any questions in the chat about your next step. Also, give me a yes or drop a 1 in the chat if you already booked your call. If you already in, I want you to type in the chat, I'm in. I know that there's a few of you on the call. So if you're already in, I want you to type I'm in. I'm locked in. We locked in, sis. I want you to drop. I'm locked in. I'm locked in. Okay. I see Shamika's locked in. Congratulations, Shamika. Where are you opening your store again? I feel like you did say it in the beginning. Remind us where you're going to be opening your store. Also, y'all, there's limited time on the calendar this week. So I don't want y'all to wait to book this call. If you have questions, book the call. If you want to understand about payment arrangements and funding, book the call. If you have questions about if this is for you, I don't know, my mama said this, my uncle said this, my daddy, my cousin, my pastor, go ahead and just book the call. The call is free. It costs nothing to book a call. Okay. The call is free. Okay. If you're here to the end, you're here for a reason. The call is free. Okay. Y'all got any questions on anything that I shared that I could answer for y'all in the next 5 seconds? I am very much over time, but do y'all have any questions? I would love to answer any questions that y'all have. Anything that I mentioned that piqued your interest. Anything about the program, how we work, how we get stores open, anything at all. Go ahead. You can drop it in the chat if you could type it all, because I know it's a lot of typing. Any questions at all, let me know that I can answer in the next couple of minutes. But like I said, guys, we are super, super excited to be working. Okay, St. Charles is going to be opening a beauty supply store. St. Charles, yay! We are so excited for you, Shamika, and congratulations, because let me tell y'all, this is a big deal. Like when I say opening a beauty supply store is similar to what our pioneers was doing back in the day with civil rights movement, where we were trying to break into industries and break into restaurants and get a seat at the table. This is what we're doing in the 21st century. We're trying to break in and get a seat at a table where we used to have a seat. Like I showed y'all how our ancestors had made millions in beauty in the 1920s. So we had a seat. We lost the seat. And now we're trying to get the seat back. And so this is such a powerful movement that you become a part of. And so it becomes more than just money. The money is great. And I explained to you guys the numbers and the money, right? So you have a very good idea about how much money you can make. But the fact that you're going to be the first Black-owned beauty supply store, or if not the first, very few. There's no community that has a plethora of Black-owned beauty supply stores, right? Very few and far in between. It is such a big deal to be a part of a movement of Black entrepreneurs in the beauty supply industry, because we seen the Asians do it. We done seen the Arabs do it. They ain't doing it because they like Black people. They're doing it because it makes them millions. Okay. And now it is time for us to reclaim the industry and for us to circulate that Black dollar within our Black community. Okay. So I don't see any questions in the chat. I'm going to just end it right here. Thank you so much, guys, for spending your evening with me. I don't take it for granted the opportunity that I have to talk about this industry that means so much to me and is so near and dear to my heart. For almost 2 decades of my life, I've devoted it to beauty supply. And so I'm super, super pumped and super, super excited for those of you who are going to be joining the movement and who have joined us tonight. I'm going to drop the link in again, because once I close out, everything is going to disappear. So make sure y'all copy and paste that into your notes. And I will see you guys on the next live. Have a good night. Bye.